Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play BlightBorn, another game I found on itch.io, which is supposed to be a dating sim, a horror, and a survival horror. Let's begin. The bright start is hope. A breakthrough designed to terraform dead lands, restore lost harvest, and save humanity from itself. But something went wrong. Something went wrong. It spread. It changed everything. Oh, mutation. The bright evolved beyond control, affecting humans and forcing their bodies into rapid adaptation. Adaptation. Their minds shattered, their bodies transformed. The affected start to attack and consume human flesh. They become predators, driven by instinct to spread the bright. So the bright are basically... It's basically a zombie apocalypse. You were just an intern when it began, a nameless cog in the bio research team. Then the world started to rot, and the weight of its salvation fell onto your shoulders. Since then, you dedicate yourself to studying its development, trying to undo what the industry had unleashed. Well, they just probably ran with their tails behind their legs. Then the accident began. Just a harmless prank, you thought. Just a harmless prank, bro. Now it's clear. You were close. Too close for your own good. Are we gonna Is it gonna be like Resident Evil? They wanted you silenced. The dim light blinds you as you try to open your eyes, a sharp ringing in your ears. Your body is heavy, your limbs sluggish. I was in the lab, and then, my head. A dull throbbing pain spread through your skull as you push yourself up. The ground beneath you feels cold and dusty, your vision slowly adjusts. You're standing in the corridor. You're standing in the corridor. No windows, no sunlight. Flickering lights overhead cast erratic shadows. The air is damp, thick with scent of chemicals, raw and something metallic. This place, an underground facility? You try to take a step forward, but your knees almost buckle. You brace yourself against the wall. You brace against the wall. Fingers spread against the cold surface, and then your hands meet something wet. A sticking fluid coats your palm. You freeze. Slowly, you lift your head. A faint crimson smears your fingertips. Blood? Yep, blood. It seems flesh. Someone or something was here recently. I need to get out of here. You force your body to move. Scan your surroundings. The corridor stretches in two directions. There's no signs or labels to guide you. Think, there has to be a way out. A control room? If I can find it, I can access the facility's layout. You steady yourself, inhaling deeply as you walk through these halls. You know streaks of dark stains continue along the walls and the floor. Not just blood, but something else. Scratches, smudges, as if someone had dragged themselves, or had been dragged through these walls. The corridor seemed like a maze, but thanks to the tears and blood markings, you can navigate through these indistinct walls. Finally, after walking for what seems like hours, you find a corridor with doors. Many doors line the sides of the corridor. It seems to be a crossroads of this facility. You take a peek through the windows of the doors and can catch a glimpse of the rooms within. The medical ward, laboratory, the archive, the storage, a room full of test tubes. Just test tubes? Test tubes. You scan the insides of the room from the window. Once it's clear of any movement, you slowly open the door. Your eyes didn't trick you. Test tubes for humans. You look closer. Humans in the tubes are different stages of blight infections. This abandoned place is Bright Research Facility, which means this place holds the equipment I need to create a cure. I continue my development on a cure before I escape. If I scan the area and make sure it's safe, I could stay here for a while. But one broke out. Your eyes wander a shattered tube. One of them seems fresh. You feel unwell, unsure if you can handle one of them beforehand. I have to stay on guard. They're heavier, but you can't tell if it's because you're exhausted or perhaps you're already losing your grip on your previous healthy mind. Sanity isn't important at this stage of matters anyhow, as long as you remain functional and not affected. And finally, the last two doors. Blood covers the windows. You can't make out the insides of the rooms. Surely one of them has to be the control room. Careful not to draw unwanted attention, you slowly open the door. Opening it a shiver, you pause and listen. You weren't expecting this. It was not silent, nor is it noise. It's breathing. Steady, calm breaths. Is this a survivor? Enter the room. Let's enter the room. Yes. You can't walk the door. Sooner or later, you have to face what's behind it. Better to scan the room now than having it jump on you later. At last you enter. I think we found our creature. You freeze. Oh, goodness sake. Of all of all things, the last thing you would have expected to find is him, and unconscious to boot. With him immobile ability, you take your chance to satisfy your curiosity. You squat closer, examining his face first and then the rest of his body. Wounded, limp on the ground, awkward position, black veins crisscrossing his body. He clearly infected by the blight. However, you could feel he's not your responsibility. You're on your own mission, and you don't even know what tensions he has. By helping him, you might be risking too much. But as a human population continued to dwindle, it would be a pity to let him die here. What should I do? Help. I have to find this stabilized serum. You could temporarily hold back the symptom. This could be a chance to test the lab's current antiviral on him. You try to find a reason to justify saving him. Having made your decision, you make your way to the medical lab. Despite the crunching of broken glass beneath your feet, you don't slow down. If you're going to help, you might as well come back to someone who's still breathing. You see the familiar red air horse hang from the ceiling. You enter the lab and delicately sweep the cabinets away as you search for your serum. If only these are still alive, you're toast. If any of these are still alive, you're toast. Thankfully, that doesn't come to pass. It's safe to search. Violating several storage protocols, you finally find the stabilizer amongst a few other substances. next to the cabinet. Next to a cabinet, with the serum out in the open. For who knows how long, you doubt that the serum isn't effective anymore, but I don't lose anything for trying. Worst, he'll turn into an uglier corpse. The side effect can't be worse than swelling and rashes. At least that's what your manual says. With the vial securely in your hand, you push away the cabins blocking your way out and head back. Once again, you keep up the pace, earnestly magnifying the closer you get to this surgery room. You wail outside as you could find him there and still there and breathing. I need to be cautious. You tie him up to whatever cables and rope you can find. You tie him up with whatever cables and rope you can find. Better than nothing. Not wanting to catch his disease, you put your gloves and gingerly position yourself next to his body. Taking your time, you grab his wrist, rolling it in your hands until you okay the main vein. There you are. Needle at the ready, you exact the serum from the vial and gently poke the needle in. The translucent liquid goes in as you press down. Soon it's all gone, fully injected. Time for some precautions. I should wait and see if anything happens. We're just doing our own research right here. It's supposed to take effect in a couple minutes, but it feels like ages as you stay there waiting for a reaction. Nothing. Maybe I should just leave. At that moment, you hear him taking a deep breath, sucking in air like it's water. You turn your gaze back to his face. You find a pair of eyes staring back at you. They're completely white irises, giving you an expression they can't read into. He jumps forward before you can even plan your escape, but he stops right in front of you. Looking down at you, he stares for a while longer, and you don't dare move. Then he smiles. Oh, we actually helped him. Scared of a man who's on death's doorstep seconds ago? Is he serious? What are you? You tell me. He's very handsome. Dangerous. You look stressed. No wonder your hair is all white. He did not just say that. It's like, yes, he did. I recommend that you stop saying anything further about my hair. I don't think you're in any you're in any position to call the shots around here. Looking at his tone and physique, you really should be careful in how you interact with him. As much as you hate the fact, since you're definitely not stronger than him, you have to rely on your wit to get out of here. I helped you, know. You like to think I owe you? You do. He chuckles. Perhaps he's amused, insane, or just cruel, or all three. Probably all three. You hold back a flinch as he quickly lowers his face to your level. If that's the case, then I'll repay you, dear savior. Now, how should I go about that? You mentally sort for your options, but he's not someone to trust, not fully anyway. I need to get out of this place. He clicks his tongue. You're lost and you need protection from other murderous beings. Not wanting to waste any more time, you nod. Then he effortlessly breaks through the restraint you tied him in. So that didn't help at all. He smirks. You're lucky I didn't find you first. That doesn't sound promising. Nope. Let's just say it wasn't for you. But for the time being, consider yourself safe. He almost sounds like he's bluffing, but the glint of his eyes tell you otherwise. You don't want him to be him as an enemy. What's your name? Though you let me tag along without even asking. Thought you'd let me tag along without even asking? I'm not rude. I'm not rude. Call me Lycos? I would say nice to meet you, but saying such a thing is laughable, given our current arrangement. But tell him your name. Lion! Lion. Lion, I like that. I like his name too. I actually like his design completely. Alright, that's enough chit-chat. Where are you heading? Let's go to the control room. Now then, to the last room. Without hesitation, but cautiously you open the door. The room is dimly lit, and glowing of flickering monitors casting ragged shadows across the walls. You skim through the control panels, scanning the screens until one feed catches your eye. A live camera feed showing what looks like an exit. Below it, a shot labeled Unlock Exit. The controls of the barrier separating you from the outside world. I need a key card. You can feel your pulse quicken, but you force yourself to stay composed. Yeah, obviously you need a key to open the door. Shut up. Somehow his smug attitude and complete lack of urgency makes it easier to breathe. He exhaled sharply, shaking off the tension, and stepped back into the hall. Where are you heading? Laboratory? This is the lab. No more chemicals than what I can. The lab has more chemicals than what I can ever hope to get home. I don't have anything on my hands right now. If I could find out more, then I could create the cure here. The archive. I should be able to find some useful information here. Lycos scowls at the sight of the cabinets. Looks boring to me. Is there going to be anything useful here? Yes, archives like this could tell us where to find things, or even if they're already developed a cure. It'll take a bit of reading, but if we do this together, Lycos lets out a yawn of displeasure, clearly not interested in the method of searching. Look, just start from the left. If you want to look for anything, I'll be over here. Fine. Ignoring his boredom, you head over to the first cabinet. As you look through the cabinets, however you notice a problem. Lycos? Yes? On your end, are the archive towers wet? Not wet now, but they were. He unceremoniously claps a stack of tablets down on the table nearby. Hurry over and take a look. The tablets were all glitchy. A clear sign of water damage. I can't read any of these. There's a high possibility of sabotage. There's no water leaks in here, as someone deliberately soaked them. Humidity isn't enough to destroy something like this either. Keep looking. If you find any undamaged tablets, let me know. Sure. You do the same for a while longer, and then a glint catches your attention. At the top of the shelf, a small folder. Taking it off the shelf, you open it. The face of Lycos greets you, labeled as Subject X. LKS 31. Can't believe he was human at some point. You glance over to Lycos. Don't try to be sneaky. I can feel your gaze. He poses. Want to take a closer look? I was looking over. Just a second. No. You turn your face to the tab on your hands, trying to read more about him and find details about his affections. His affection was documented. They durably infected him. These people are like full tech right here. Their sections are glitchy, and you can't make out the details. I should try to fix this. This will prove to useful to understand his attitude better. You slip the folder under your coat, and then something falls from it. You quickly bend down and pick it up, your eyes widen as you inspect it. A master key card. Hey, this is getting too boring. I don't think it's any use anyways. You turn to him, key card in hand. Good news then, I found a key card we can use. Thank God. Let's get out of here. So we went to the control room, the laboratory. Let's go to storage. The smell of sanitized medical supplies tickles your nose as you enter. There are some handy tools in here. Perhaps there's something else that you can find here. At least that's what you hope. I'm looking for medical supplies, something we can use to make an antiviral. Oh, what's that? Something to help with the bright. Ah, well, if you need something, I suppose I could take a break. Break from what? To your surprise, Lycos does his part to examine different tools and ingredients and scattered about. Then you notice him opening a vial of thimerosal. Do not touch that. Why not? It's mercury-based compound. We need it for the antiviral. And if you're supposed to tear, it might become contaminated. I need a clean sample if I'm gonna make this successfully. Aw, can't I touch it a little? No. No. It's like, no. Bad, Lycos. You continue to search while Lycos picks up items and brings them to you like a childlike glee. After what feels like an hour, you're about to give up when... Nestled deep inside one of the refrigerators, you find what you're looking for. Yes! I found it! That antiviral, right? Antiviral thing. Antiviral. And sort of. You show him the small jar, which contains a bluish-white substance. This compound should form a base for the antiviral. It's not complete yet, but if we don't have this, it'll be a heck of a lot more difficult. So that means we're done here? He seems like it's kind of sad that you managed to find your compound so quickly. Perhaps you enjoy the break from hunting and hiding from the creatures. Regards, he leaves the storage room with you. We'll go back to the laboratory. This lab has more chemicals than I can ever hope to get home. Okay, I don't have... Okay, I thought because I had the stuff. Medical ward. The passages in the medical ward are wide, as Lycos and your movements through the space create soft echoes. The low buzz of the lights help mask them, but even so, you remain worried. The wrinkles between your eyebrows are extra deep. I'm not that old. You don't look like one, but that's for you don't look like one, but that's for sure. Like what? Now, personally wise, you don't face him, keeping your gaze forward as you scan the room. Anyway, my point is, you look really worried. I'm only cautious. What am I doing? The day has worn me out a little, and I hope that these lights don't explode over our heads. Yeah, it would be tragic for us to end up in the dark gloom together. Lyco said that in a query sarcastic tone, but you choose to ignore it. Yes, attackers will most likely have advantage if they strike us in such a scenario. I can ward off enemies in the dark. I can see just fine, you know. Suddenly, heavy, fast footsteps thunder towards you. Something's coming, let's go. You turn to run, but he doesn't follow you. Lycos, follow me. Without a warning, he claps his hands over your mouth and leans over your shoulder. Shut up and stay put. Keep listening for any more of these things. It doesn't matter if you want to resist his words, because the moment he turns from you, a hall breaks into the room. Wait, a hall like bleach hollow? You went to cover your ears as a horrific shriek of the dark creature, but remember Lyco's order. The hall throws itself onto him, clinging to his arm as it tries to rip it off. Then, with sudden force, Lycos pushes back the hall's other limp, clutching its throat, and desperate scream rings as Lycos holds firm, applying more pressure. Slimy dark red blood oozes from the organic matter out of the neck as Lycos managed to crunch its throat single-handedly. Mortally wounded, it jerks forward in an attempt to kill its attacker. Using a shard of jagged metal protruding from its shoulder as a makeshift knife. Lycos yells. He hisses at the jab, then leaves a long, narrow cut in his midsection. Unable to stay put any longer, you run to them. Stay back. You halt, biting your lip at the anger in his eyes as he gives you a single glance. I got this. Come here, little fungus. Your eyes widen in horror as he grabs the Hall's head and bashes it against the wall. Once, twice, and thrice, 3 times. By the time he's done, the hall is bloody pulp, the ground covered in gore. You can see some electronic compounds sticking out, presumably a cybernetic implant that belonged to the once human victim. Okay, it's kind of odd that we're calling it hollow, and we're calling it bright. Bright. It's all you could focus. This thing was human at one point. That you cannot deny. I feel sick. Ah, what a rush. With his assault finished, he turns to you. Strands of hair sticking out due to the attack, but what's more distracting is the flecks of blood and gore on his face and torso. His hands are coated in blood, too, almost like a paint. Hey, I got an idea. Should we keep this thing as remains for your to experiment on? That's what he just talks about. Throw it away from here, please. He rolls his eyes. As you wish. Killjoy. I like him. He tosses it to the side. He just automatically goes from mad rage into just a puppy. He tosses it to the side, the pulpy remains of the blood landing with a loud splatter. As strange as it feels to have him return to your side with his hands covered in gore, you can't help but be thankful for his presence. He's just like a puppy. A murderous puppy. Now that he's closer, you can get a better look at the wound in his abdomen. You could apply first aid, but it doesn't seem to be too bad of a cut. And fear of getting infected is pointless now. Either of you might be, and the other thing that offers a chance of survival besides escaping from here is the cure. What, something on my face? Yeah. You're very handsome. Let's move. He dismisses his attempts at humor and head out. Test tube room? You entered the room with all the tubes once more. You look at the shattered test tubes. Your gaze shifts to Lycos, who doesn't look particularly impressed. Did you come from that thing? He hums in this emission. It's like, yes, I think I did. He just, I think. How did you manage to wake? I'm not sure. I just did. It's like, I said something into the universe. I just broke out. This might be related to the loss of power. Testing your hypothesis, you examine a nearby machine. Putting your ear close, you hear the telltale hum of rolling parts underneath the surface. Not that. Eager to try sleeping in one of those two? It's not very comfortable. I wish I could afford to sleep right now. You move to the controls, seeing which lever and button manage the test tubes. Although in truth, you look over to see this. It's been a while, but the controls are the same. I need to run a scan. I'm not getting back into that thing. Not you, just me. And you would run it. His lips are set in a thin line of concern. It could go wrong. I'm not doing that. It's actually quite simple, look. You call him over. He suddenly watches next to you. He's like, I played Fallout 4. It's like, no. You press these first, and then pull the lever. After my scan is done, it will print out a paper from the slot. Understood? At his silence, you glance at him. For a second, you think you see something soft in his eyes as you met them, but it's gone as he nods. Understood. You open the tube again. You gulp as he closes the lid, knowing you have to trust that he doesn't leave. He won't leave you locked in or will meddle with the machine. He goes back to getting it working. And you close your eyes. The machine's working its magic, performing a scan of your body. Oh, before you can react, you could feel the machine taking a blood sample. The machine continues until finally, you can hear a puncher finally working. Lacus is already opening the door for you to come out before you completely open your eyes. So it's like, as soon as it's done, I'm opening a door. That was faster than I expected. He reaches out to grab your arm to pull you out. You will shove him away, but something tells you you could just let him. As you do, the hands could break down concrete, gently lead you out. Aw, I like him. Thank you. He's adorable. He only flashes a smile, and before you can do it, he takes a paper and hands it to you. I didn't even attempt to read it. It's your turn to work your magic. Your eyes scan the report, drinking in as much information you can. Nothing strange to tell. pure blood. Not that definitely sounds like witches stuff. Like a third series that we should not name. Or also reminds me of Vampire Knight. Not that it definitely sounds like witches stuff. Now, what's with the wide eyes? I'm completely immune to the bright. He narrows his eyes in confusion, skeptical. The report says I have bright in my body, but nothing happened to me. I got antibodies actively keeping it at bay. Any particles that are being introduced into my system aren't managing to do much before they're swallowed by my immune system. You're an anomaly. I'm the cure. In a way, yes. This is amazing news. My blood could be used to make a proper antiviral. I have to look into the details with more depth later. Yeah, you should. Who knows what other superpowers you might gain from this. Time travel? Time travel? I want time travel. If you don't at least get some kind of ability, I'll say you just got ripped off. I mean, this is a dystopian with like a zombie apocalypse thing, and I'm the cure. I think this is actually a good superpower, though I would want time travel. You smile at his humor, and together you do go to the hallway. Where are you heading? Where are you heading? Well, so we already did there too, so I would have to go back to the lab, the surgery room. You decide to head back to the surgery room. Perhaps there's something you missed here. However, you quickly find out that your hunch was incorrect. Empty. Well, obviously, we're just here, and I was here long before that. You glance at him. What do you mean by that? Well, it clearly means that I'm the only one thing that was worthwhile in this room in the first place. Aren't you, egotistical? You roll your eyes. Despite your unimpressed expression, he smirks. You look like you want to bite back with a snarky response. He scoffs, still scanning the area in vain, hoping that there's something worthwhile here. Your search, however, is hammered with your companion's commentary. I don't think you're the shy type. Come on, say something. What a nonsensical person. Perhaps the bright had eroded some of his sanity. Or he just never had a sanity to begin with. Well, if he wasn't young there before the bright. Or perhaps he was always this unhinged, strange, suddenly bashful, or are you trapped by me? I simply did not engage in conversation with a man, if I could call you that, who makes us waste our time. Oh, I don't think it's a waste of time. With such a pretty face at your side, how can it be? You raise an eyebrow at him. He stares back, a sheer creeping up his face. Wait, are you blushing? Before you can take a good look, you spin on your heels towards the exit. He's not that good looking. It's like Kenny is. He kind of is good looking. Actually, he is good looking. Without waiting for him, you leave the room. Where are you headed? Laboratory. Alright, I have all the components. This time, for sure, I could create an antiviral. You might want to sit back while I do this. Waiko shrugs, but leans against the closet wall. Despite your focus on reading your documents again, measuring and adding the substance in the correct amount of size, you can tell he's watching you. You poke a vein of your shoulder and leave the last needed drops of the antiviral. Finished. Okay, we're gonna use you as a test subject. It's stable, so you think you could keep making it as long as you have a clean space to make more. Where are you heading? The control room. You smile at yourself as you slide the master key into the slot. The machine accepted the key card. Through the cameras, you could see the exit door lighting up. Now all you need is a master key to leave here. Lycos watches you over your shoulder as you press the button. In the distance, you hear a rumble of machinery. Looks like the door's up. It is. We can leave at any time. Where are you heading? The exit. With the exit door and antiviral in your hands, you don't want to waste any more time here. Lycos? He raises his eyes to you. What will you do about him? Okay, I'm gonna save. Bring him with you. I have to go now. Oh, yes, but are you coming as well? His eyes line up at your question. You're asking me out? Outside? With me? He dismisses your correction, positioning himself right next to you, beside you, as you walk out the room. Let's go outside then. With him beside you, you calmly open the exit. Cold air hits your face. Yeah, you can't be more glad about it. You escaped with Lycos and the crucial antiviral. You hope that this will assure mankind's continued survival. And with Lycos at your side, perhaps the road ahead will be that much safer. The end of the Irmo. Leave without him. Thank you for guarding me. He tilts his head as if he didn't quite grasp my gratitude. I must go now. Oh, he laughs. Oh, right, obviously. Are you sure you have to already? Certainly. He nods absentmindedly. He doesn't look up at you. Well, Lion, are you interested? You're an interesting one, to be sure. Goodbye. You fear he might plot something against you. As soon as you turn around, you split to the exit. He goes so fast, you don't get to react. Your eyes are covered by his hand, and the rest of your body is locked within his arms. You can see again. As much as you struggle, you can't even jerk back to his face. Why are you doing this? He lets out a hiss of breath, unsure what to say, but then his breathing is on your neck. I can't let you go now. Your body grows tired of resisting. Can't you stay? Right now, you're yonder now too. You would have thought that he want to tear you apart. Yet this request is almost intriguing. He gives you a bit more space, and while he had you mobilized, your position is almost in a brace. Why me? He doesn't look up at you, and he doesn't look you in the eye, instead facing the ground as if embarrassed. You're not the warmest person alive, but maybe he hasn't met any ours who are actually live humans. Just because you intrigue me. It's been so long since I interacted with a human who didn't want to dissect me. In registration, you sigh. The time you have is fleeting, but now you don't understand. But now you must understand, or maybe you want to understand. As you wish. He flashes an eerie, unnatural smile, unnatural grin. You're mine now. Stay with me. Forever. It's too late to try escape now. And we found out he was a yandere. Which we're gonna go with no this time. I will avoid that room as long as I can. Now then, to the last room. Without hesitation, you cautiously open the door. The room is dimly lit. The glow of flickering monitors cast the shadows across the walls. You skim through the control panels, scanning the screens until one feed catches your eye. And live camera, feed showing that what looks like an exit. Below it is a slot labeled "Unlock Exit." The controls of the barrier separating from the outside world. I need a keycard to unlock this. You could find your pulse quicking, but you force yourself to stay composed. Stay calm, search for the facility. There has to be a keycard left behind somewhere, right? You turn around and leave the control room. A shadow flickers in the corner of your eye. It's not just flickering of the red lights. Footsteps draw closer from behind. There's only one thing you could do. Let's fight. You gaze, find a spot where his kidney should be, and without a second thought, you threw your knee at full force. The creature managed to hit you first, striking your head in an attempt to disable you quickly. Your head hurts. When you pull your hand away from your head, you see bright red blood. Staggering, you do your best to run away, but fail. Your eyes flutter close, and the last you feel is the light breathing against your cheek. Game over. Tile screen. So I think that's the only route so far for BlightBorn. One death thing, 2 actual routes. The run route gave us actually gave me the same route, basically just a different dialogue. So that is it for today. If you like my content, please subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below, like the video, and turn on notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.